so you're a therapist, but have you ever felt that the need for healing yourself?
Of course. Of course, when the glass gets empty, you have to fill the water.
Right. So your recent loss of your mother is deeply personal. So how did it affect your art, your dance, your spirit, and do you feel her presence when you dance?
Mama passing away is this long pause which I just took. Loss of words, loss of emotions. It was just a big loss. And when you are in a community, you're working towards a dream, towards a mission, towards a passion. Inclusion is my biggest passion, my dream. I think my students give it back so much to me. And my students start from 4 years to 77 years. Okay, so they give it back so much to me that my grief dissolves.
So have you ever felt overlooked or underestimated because of your age or gender? And how did you respond to that? Hey everyone, welcome back to Harmony Hour with Deepa. And today's episode is all about dance, movement, inspiration, and it is a bit of emotional because today we have someone with us who is not just moved by her body but also by her grace, and she is someone who is very inspiring. She runs her own dance training center in Dubai, and it is one of the Dubai's biggest dance therapy movement. And this conversation is going to be very inspiring as well as special for us because recently she has lost her mother, so it's going to be very emotionally and inspiring as well. So get ready with us to get inspired. So let's welcome Vishakha Verma. Hey Vishakha, and thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a total honor to be on your podcast.
Oh, it's like is all mine. So can we start with the backstory of Vishakha? How did you get into the dance movement, and how did you started your dance studio?
Okay, so dance, I think I didn't start dance. Dance chose me at a very young age from school time. Then I started learning Kathak. Then it went on. Grew up into a dance teacher because dance didn't become my profession, but the dance teacher, the choreographer was in me. And 20 years back, I studied my dance movement therapy when the special students came in my life.
So starting with the questions now, like can therapy and thumkas go hand in hand? And traditional folk says that dance is just entertainment. So what's your response to them?
Such a cute question. So, tumkas and therapy definitely go hand in hand very beautifully because tumkas are a very joyful moment, and this you have seen more in our Bollywood styles
Yeah.
and the Asian styles.
Right.
But the moment you start just with the tumka, there's a very joyful mood comes into you, a very rebellious self, where I think itself is very healing.
Right.
Right. Now, thumka, we think it's just a thumka, but thumka has a lot of coordination between your motor skills and the way you lift your leg up and down with your neck movement and head movement. And it releases a lot of pent up stress in you.
That's true.
And this is one of the phrases or one of the lines in therapy where you can release your emotions. So just a simple thumka can do wonders to you.
That's so true. Like, it can give you so much of stress relief at one time
Yeah.
when you're just doing
Just
dance
a
and
thumka.
forgetting.
Yeah, just a thumka. And mind you, it's not easy to do a thumka.
Right.
People think खाली कमर मटकाने से, but वो कितनों की कमर नहीं मटकती.
That's true. So, what does dance mean to you today at this stage of your life, and how has the meaning evolved over the decades?
So when I started dancing, I didn't know that dance will become my career. But when you start young and you're career oriented, so there are a lot of things involved in it: money,
Right.
your presence. Are you, the top? You always want to go up that ladder, which I don't know. Do we know if that is the success? But we are always not behind the art form,
Right.
but we are in that ladder
Yeah, the
of,
success which we
the
call.
success ladder, money
Right.
and a little bit of knowing. Thankfully there was no social media, otherwise I would have really, gone a little crazy to get those little followers,
Yeah.
watching you. But over the years, of course, after 45 you kind of realize that dance is creating your own space, creating your own vibe,
Yeah.
and being with yourself.
Right.
So, dance has started helping me to heal, to release my emotions, and now it is peace.
And now, like what you are saying, we can clearly see in your
Huh.
Instagram, like, the way you move and the way you do the
It's
postures and
peaceful.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's clearly visible
Yeah.
over
So,
there.
it is not about presenting,
Yeah.
it is about myself.
Yeah. And we
You
can
know?
clearly see that you are enjoying, like, the way you enjoy, we enjoy seeing you that.
Oh, it means a lot. Thank you.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges of running your own dance academy at in your 50s? And did you ever feel the world wasn't ready for a woman to dream big after 50?
See, anyways, you start anything at 50, there are a lot of challenges. Not in terms of just financial, but the challenge is, isse nahi hoga.
Right.
Why is she even trying?
Okay.
She's turned 50, right? Ho gaya na. Abhi to bhajan, kirtan, you should go
Right.
into these meditative things.
Yeah.
And somewhere, yes, these were the challenges. People were not accepting a 50-year-old coming and teaching tumkas, as you
Yeah.
said in the
Yeah.
beginning. But slowly, steadily, I had my own tribe, because it was not just for me, it was for the thousands of women
Yeah.
who actually think they missed the bus.
True.
So it became very beautiful after a while.
Yeah.
Right now, also, there are, comments coming to me that why is she, at this age. I don't know why age is such a
Big thing. Yeah.
big thing. You can start anywhere.
Right.
You can catch your bus at any stop. Who
That's
tells
true.
you not to do that? Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you are inspiring so many people to catch the bus. It's not late, right?
Yeah.
Because we can never identify someone unless and until they say that I'm in their 40s, 50s, because you look like you dance so gracefully and you don't look like 50. I just think age is just a number and people try to sometimes hide it or
Yeah.
sometimes just ignore the
Yeah.
things question. But so, have you ever felt lost in yourself? So you're a therapist, but have you ever felt that the need for healing yourself?
Of course. Of course, when the glass gets empty, you have to fill the water.
Right.
It does not fill by itself.
True.
So at times when you get lost, dance heals me. My family, my kids heal me. They are my biggest therapists. They kind of back me up and say, "No, Mama, it's okay. Just give it little time, breathe back, take a step back, and then again start climbing."
Wow. These are the kind of people we really need surrounded by, right?
Yeah.
So, your recent loss of your mother is deeply personal. So, how did it affect your art, your dance, your spirit? And do you feel her presence when you dance?
So, Mama passing away is this long pause which I just took. Loss of words, loss of emotions. It was just a big loss. And it took a little while for me to, kind of understand and come to the reality that Mama's physically not there,
Yeah.
but she's spiritually right in me. So I'm not saying goodbyes to her. I am keeping her alive in me through my nritya, through my passion, through the zeal of doing something. And I have to make her proud. She's watching me somewhere, you know. Now she's all the time here. I
Yeah.
don't have to bring her, take a visa out and bring her to Dubai. She's right there with
Yeah.
me. So keeping that feeling strong
Yeah.
and keeping her with me
I feel she's
intact.
already proud. Like you're doing so, so, so good. So, if you had to dedicate one dance to your mom, so what would it look like?
Now,
Yeah?
so this is one song I think all moms of my mom's age like. So, Mama, this is for you. लग जा गले के फिर ये हंसी रात हो ना हो शायद फिर इस जन्म में मुलाकात हो ना हो.
Oh my god, I'm getting emotional. I'm missing my mom. This is so, 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 so good.
Thank you for letting me do this.
Yeah, it's all my pleasure. So, grief is invisible to the world for sure. So, how do you carry it while leading a community and you have such a big community showing up strong for others?
Actually, here I would like to correct you that when you are in a community, you're working towards a dream, towards a
Yeah.
mission, towards a passion. Inclusion is my biggest passion, my dream. I think my students give it back so much to me. And my students start from 4 years to 77 years. Okay, so they give it back so much to me that my grief dissolves, my grief melts because I see my ma, my sister, my friend, my bestie, my little jealous partner, my little irritating one,
Yeah.
all in them.
Yeah,
When you have the right tribe around you,
true.
there's no dull moment.
That's so like so good, and I feel people are blessed if you like we are surrounded with a really good people who like think not just they clap for us but they also criticize us for next level of betterment and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, and someday I would love to come to your dance community
Absolutely.
and like dance with
Absolutely.
you for sure because
So
I
that
love
would
dancing.
be my podcast.
Yeah, we can just dance together.
See, dancing with anyone or my students is my podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, talking
Yeah.
is not my forte. That's your forte. So when you come to Vishakha's and you dance, so that would be like my angles of teaching
Oh.
you how do you accept yourself and how
Yeah.
do you release yourself.
It'll be so great. Like, for sure, we'll do this. So, what does being 50 feels like? I just can't, like, I'm going to enter in my 30s. So, I am still little dicey that what will be like, it will be like. But what does being 50 feels like? And what are the myth about turning 50 that you want to break?
First of all, the myth of being 50 कि उसके बाद we won't be able to do this or we won't be able to do that and we won't be doing this and we can't do that. We have to stop thinking that because even at 30, sometimes you're not able to climb stairs.
True.
Okay?
That's true.
At 40, sometimes you've had a terrible backache.
Yeah.
Right? At 18, children have anxiety issues.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that at 50 पे ही सब शुरू होगा ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Rather, I think at 50 everything starts ending.
Okay. Is it?
It starts ending.
Really?
You have because you've become matured.
Yeah.
You've understood the world. There is no strings attached. You're not more worried about followers and likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
So aren't you free?
What about the attachment with the children's?
That always stays there with you.
And like, when they grow up and then they have to leave. So is it
Amazing.
okay?
You have to let your children fly in the sky. I have two grown up kids. My son is 30, my daughter is 24. They both fly beautifully, in the sky, and I watch them. And I can, call them back anytime. But you cannot keep them grounded.
Yeah,
No.
that's true. Yeah,
No. I don't
right.
think so. That should be. And once you let them grow, they definitely come back to the roots.
Right. That's true.
The more you cage them, they want to, not fly, they want to run.
Break it. Yeah.
Yeah. So running and flying are
Two
two
different.
different things.
Right. I totally agree on
Yeah.
that. So, have you ever felt overlooked or underestimated because of your age or gender? And how did you respond to that?
Of course, we all do,
Yeah.
As I previously said, being 50, moment you and when I turned 50, I flashed it
Okay.
over social media
Okay.
that I've turned 50, and now
Yeah.
I can't wait to be 65.
Oh, wow.
I've already pictured myself, at 65.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So I think people need to embrace
Right.
this
Phases.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wear different saris, you wear different jewelry.
Right.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it is.
And like there are less things to worry,
Yeah.
right? But yes, there is a lot of talk that woman 50, she should be doing this, she should be doing this. And this is where I think, Deepa, you are doing a fabulous job for the
Thank you.
youngsters. You're breaking barriers by calling a 52-year-old in your podcast and listening to her.
Yeah, it's all my privilege. Like, I feel like it's my pleasure to have you here because I feel like there is so much to learn from you that will help me to grow throughout my, whatever age it is. I don't believe, but the experience which you have and the kind of work you are doing, right? Dance is something I'm really passionate. Like, from my childhood, I'm also a Kathak trained dancer. And whenever I see your reels, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so good. Will I do? So I think like this, will I be able to? I'm like, no, she's doing so great. Like, will I do? Then I'm like, yeah, for sure. If she can, then I can. So you are motivating me in like, we are not talking, we are not communicating, but your reel is communicating through me and it is asking so many questions out of me. And then in my mind only, I'm saying, yeah, she's doing, I can also do. And like, so I think like you are inspiring so many people out there, right? Especially the women at your age, right? And the women who are in their 40s, they were like passionate about dancing, but due to, the responsibilities, we go through everything and then we have to leave. But you are carrying it so well and so gracefully, I must say. So, what is something only a woman in her 50s can understand that you wish younger women knew, like me?
At 50, I think I understood how to shut off the outside noises.
Mm-hmm. That's very important.
There are a lot of outside noises which don't let you grow and glow. All the time, youngsters nowadays are pushed, forced through the social media numbers
Right.
or their followers, or something is always worrying
Mm-hmm.
because somebody else has been telling you a different story.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we make choices, one is right, one is wrong. Now it depends how you're seeing. Like for me, my right is right, my left is left.
Yeah.
But for you, the mirror image, this is right and this is wrong. You just have to grab that opportunity and walk your pace.
Mm-hmm.
At 50 or even 40, 45, we start learning this, that it's your speed which counts,
Mm-hmm.
not how fast you're walking and
Right.
achieving.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You will achieve. But when we are young, we really want to reach, I don't know which top. some top we want to reach.
That's so true. Yeah.
कोई टॉप पे पहुंचना है, बेस्ट इन्फ्लुएंसर बनना है, बेस्ट डांसर बनना है, बेस्ट पॉडकास्टर बनना है, बट सब कुछ पता नहीं, बट यू आर बेस्ट.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it took a lot of years
Right, to
and a lot of
understand.
gray hair
Yeah.
to, understand
Yeah.
this, that you are best.
Right.
Just walk with
Yeah.
faith and trust the process.
Right. Like, I believe, like, trust the process is the line which everyone should know, because when I started this podcast, I was like, what is this, number is not coming, like, what is this, like, how does it work? Like, we think of overnight success, and then I was just reading books and going through everyone's journey. I was like, people took like 10 years to be a podcaster. I just started like 3 months back. And what am I talking? It doesn't make sense. But I have to be consistent and, like you said,
Consistent.
Yeah.
And the way you're exploring, Deepa, it's not that, as you rightly said, we don't talk, we don't say good morning to each other every
Yeah.
day. But I do watch your podcasts and I see the beautiful masalas you're bringing together in one palette.
Yeah.
You're talking to an astrologer, then you're talking to a chef, then you're talking to a mind health coach, now you're talking to a dance therapist. Isn't it beautiful? By the time you are a little more accomplished, though I feel you're very accomplished right now.
Thank you so
The
much.
way you weave the questions,
Yeah.
it were amazing. Like, who asks? Nobody has asked me in so many years, does thumka and therapy go together?
Yeah.
So-
That's a really big question for us, because when you say dance is a therapy, many of us must not be knowing this. But when I see your thumka, like, it gives me a therapy, because it gives me a mental peace. Like, when I see your grace, I'm like, oh, I love this too. I can do it too. And I forget everything. That's therapy, right? You're just at the presence of your moment and you're enjoying something and you're happy.
Yeah.
So people have just forgotten to be happy
Yeah.
these days. So I am like very much like, be happy, guys. You don't have a motive. You don't have to save India, Pakistan, or you don't have to do anything like bigger. Just be happy.
Just be happy.
And enjoy this moment.
While scrolling, because
Yeah.
nowadays 80%, 90% people are scrolling.
Yeah.
How many times do you stop and smile?
Right.
When you see babies, you see puppies,
Yeah.
and you see good thumkas.
Right. And you try them at home and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit, I
in
can't
your
do it.
bathroom, in your bedroom, in your
Yeah.
safe space, you
Right.
try to. And the moment you achieve that step, don't you smile at
Right.
yourself?
Yeah.
And when you smile, the smile reaches me.
Right. It does. Yeah, for sure.
It gives me that feeling
Yeah.
of being there is worth.
Right.
So you, in your terms, are doing your path breaking. And in my terms, this is what I need to do now.
Right.
That youngsters start taking things not so
Openly.
openly and not so stressfully.
Yeah.
Leave yourself, make some mistakes.
Yeah.
And I do make mistakes. You should see my few of my reels. I laugh. जब मैं खुद mistake करती हूँ, I start laughing about it. It's fine.
But mistakes are the only things that you are learning. That is a sign of that you are learning, right? When I sit here, I never say that I'm perfect. Whenever somebody gives me a compliment, I'm like, yeah, I'm blessed that you are saying that, but I need to work so much on me, because there are so many things I also don't know what the guest is talking about.
Right.
Sometimes I feel lost.
Right.
But I feel then I have to go home, then polish my skill and then be back here.
Absolutely.
Because that is my challenge of life, and that is the beauty of this life, that you constantly force yourself to learn, and then you can never say that I am the person,
Right.
because that is arrogance. But when you challenge yourself now, then I feel I'm alive, and I feel like this is the motive of my life, that I have to get better with every day, every podcast, every guest.
So the stone has to get polished to become a diamond.
Right.
So this is what happens to
Yeah.
us. And the more we take it positively, that these mistakes or these U-turns or these road closures are not for, nothing going wrong. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
They're just teaching you something.
Yeah.
Leave home 20 minutes early.
For sure.
Wait for it,
Yeah.
take a breath, step back.
Right.
The problem nowadays, not nowadays, but it has been always there, we don't like to step back.
Mm-hmm.
In my whole life, I have stepped back and started all over again at least 5 to 6 times. So this must be my fifth or the sixth time starting my Vishakhas, that too in Dubai. And, that too when you've aged, as people say, and nobody came the first 3 months, nobody entered the studio because everybody wants a young
Yeah.
chaka-chak, kind of a thing. And here they thought, what this auntie is going to do.
Yeah.
But slowly, steadily, things have
Changed.
really
Yeah.
coming out beautifully. But there's a lot to change.
Right.
So
But I must say that whenever I see your reels, I just feel like dancing with you. For sure, we'll dance together. So, what does woman empowerment mean to you? Not in words, but in action.
action, you mean a dance action, or you mean that we should give opportunities?
I think whatever is you are a dance trainer, so I'll just ask in the dancing form. Because woman empowerment is like something hot topic, I must say. Every woman is very different, and for them, empowerment is very different. So, when I ask you as a dancer, then what will be the answer?
So for me, women empowerment does not mean that you have to become just wow.
Yeah.
Okay, it has nothing to do to become wow. It is all about fixing my juda pin, my gajra,
Yeah.
or your pallu,
Yeah.
or if your bangles have got stuck in your sari, removing that without people even noticing or making a fuss of it. Oh, why is she dressed like that?
Wow.
Oh, why is she dancing like that?
That's
No,
that's the first answer. First time I've heard this answer.
why?
That's so beautiful.
That's women empowerment. So in my classroom, when these women, gorgeous women come, we are so open to our mistakes and flaws, and we fix each other. A simple brass strap showing off,
Yeah.
or your hair coming out wrongly from here, which is not looking nice. Somebody just comes and, fixes it.
Yeah.
Isn't that women empowerment?
For sure it is.
You
It
know?
is, but nobody talks about it.
Nobody talks.
When women empowerment, it's more like, power.
Bas kranti
And-
le aao.
Yeah. So, what do you tell the young girl who comes to you, maybe unsure of themselves or their bodies or dreams? Like mostly these days, we are very conscious, especially in Dubai, when you see like chaka chak, everybody is so tip top. Like everybody is looking like they are just coming from the heaven, and then we see ourselves, oh God, where are we? Are we like, what is happening? So, what do you say to them?
See, if you talk about the youngsters who are coming to me and who are little, stuck between, are they looking good or are they not looking good, right? That's the whole story.
Yeah.
Tall, fat, like I'm very short. Okay. So I wear heels.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly, I can take care of
Yeah.
it. So the first thing dance teaches you is to accept yourself
Yeah.
inwards. So dance, nothing, it doesn't work outwardly on your body looks and all, but your postures become better.
Right.
Your dance starts healing you and you start accepting yourself. That's when the transformation starts. Because when you accept कि मैं शॉर्ट हूँ, राइट, जब विशाखा वर्मा को लगा कि वो शॉर्ट है, अब क्या करें? They were tall girls. I wanted to become an air hostess, but I had to be 5'3", 5'4", or something,
Yeah.
Otherwise, आप नहीं बन सकते. तो very simple thing. Heels पहनना start कर दो.
Right.
Right? Practice to wear your heels at home and then walk on the street like a pretty woman.
Right.
So this is what I would tell every girl, accept yourself and then start transforming. Rather than knowing your body, don't push yourself to yoga, to diets, to fillers, to anything.
Botox. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. First, understand yourself,
Right.
accept yourself, and then start working towards it.
Wow. That's a great takeaway. So, what's next for Vishakha Verma? Like, what are you still dreaming of?
Oh, this is a huge manifestation, and there's a huge dream which is going to come true with Ma's grace. Is I want a small retreat back in India for
Okay.
my able kids,
Wow.
where they just come and explore their art forms,
That's amazing. Yeah.
because after 20, 24, 25, there are no schools where they can go to study or to mingle or to
Yeah.
have make friends. So I want to have a retreat where that you can just come and explore music, art, dance, pottery,
Wow.
cooking, knitting, or maybe just simply watching TV with their friends.
Right.
So I want to make a inclusive, small, chota sa ek
That's
ghar.
a brilliant idea. And where do you want to put it in India? Which part of India?
That I don't know.
Okay. That's a brilliant idea actually.
That I
It's
don't
it's
know.
very creative, and as I feel like many of people want this, because I see the special kind of children have special creativity inside them, and they are very special. It's just not because they are special, they are creative in a very different way, and we can only understand when they start doing something. And they need a platform for that.
Absolutely.
So that's
It's not about platform, Deepa. Sometimes you need a place to be.
yeah, right.
There are not many places back in India
Mm-hmm.
where our special ones can just be themselves.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because they don't get married,
Yeah.
they don't have friends.
Mm-hmm.
Once they grow up, it's more lonelier because
Yeah.
parents have started aging.
Aging, yeah.
Parents now cannot take you to the basketball or to the
Right.
swimming, or there's so many things.
Yeah.
So if you have, such kind of a place where they can just be themselves, as an inclusive place with a lot of
Right.
tribe of mind, just a happy place. Everybody goes back home happy in the
Yeah.
evening. So
That's a great idea, and all the best for
thank you.
that.
Thank you.
So, if someone listening in their 40s or 50s and feels it's too late to start again, so what would you say to them?
Very good question. So if you think it's too late, life, as I said earlier also, life always has these turns.
Yeah.
Okay. And at every turn, you get two choices. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't take any of the choices because we're very scared. Take care. Sometimes we take one choice and we think we made a wrong choice.
Yeah.
Right? एक और टर्न आएगा ना. शेख जायद कितना लंबा है?
Yeah.
So many exits.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Next turn pe, take the other choice.
Right.
So don't be in that barrier that it's too late. Nothing is too late. Till you are still.
Yeah.
Nothing is too late.
That's so great. Like, I'll take it for sure. So we'll just have a quick game. So you have to complete the sentences.
Okay.
If I could go back and hug the younger Vishakha, I would tell her.
Not to listen to the outside voices. Believe in yourself.
That's a smart thing. I'll also say to my younger self, just go and do it, whatever you want. So what does home mean to you today, after grief, after building, after everything?
I'm going to build it back again.
Nice one. So what would you be like to remember as a woman, as an artist, or as a daughter?
As a mom.
Oh. Because this is the best feeling in the world, right?
Trust me. I want to be remembered as
Yeah.
the mom.
The mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
मॉम के साथ सब आ
coolest.
जाता है,
Right.
अरे वो डांसर मॉम, वो क्यूट मॉम, वो
Right.
ट्रेंडी मॉम, तो वो मॉम बनना है.
That's so good. And actually, we are at the end of the podcast, and it doesn't feel like we are at the end. But so, what is the one piece of advice to the people who have just forgotten the tumkas and the dance moments? So, what do you want to say them?
Create your own space and just start moving your body, not even dancing. Move your body freely, just flap your hands, fly, put a little fan in front of you, the breeze, that hair goes out. And you see, after 5 minutes, when you will step out
Yeah.
to go into the kitchen to make that dal tadka, the tadka itself will become like, oh my God. So just do it.
Yeah, you're saying just add grace to your life, right? Thank you so much, Vishaka ji. And it
Thank
was
you.
super fun with you. Like, I am taking so many things from this conversation, not just because of the podcast, but in my personal life. Like, the way you told about so many things, like, the grace is so important. Dance can be like not just a therapy, but it is like something which can really give you peace, excitement, and energy.
And releases your emotions.
Yeah, really.
Just lets you, let go.
Right.
That's all we need.
And we really need in this
Really
stressful
need.
life, we need the power of let go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.